Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Come on in. Coming in, please share. Good evening. We'll wait a few minutes. Good evening. Good evening. Hello. Hello. Hello there. Hello there. How are you guys doing? I hope you had a good day. Trying to put this on my page. Hey, you guys, it's been a long day. I am tired, but I had an 8 got out of my class, and I wanted to hurry up and get up here. It's been a day. My Wednesdays are always thank you, good, thank you. I feel I'm tired. When I say I'm tired, and I'm hungry. But I wanted to make sure that I came by with these nuggets on this evening. So I hope you guys have had a good week. I hope your families have been safe. For those of you who are new to I'm sorry, for those of you who are new to Wisdom Wednesday, I am Dr. Perkins, Coach P, whatever the case may be. This is Wisdom Wednesday. I'm not trying to get into all of those accolades and all of that other stuff. And this is Wisdom Wednesday. I'm glad that you've been able to tune in. I'm coming on at 9 o'clock for the next few months because of a class that kind of coincides and it's over about 8:20. And so I wanted to make sure that I didn't just cancel them the segments until after then, because there were some important things that are always laid upon my heart. And so I just moved the time back from 8 to 9. But once the class is over, we will go back to 8, not unless 9 is better. For some parents, different things is better with younger kids or whatever the case may be. Emotions. Stop being led by your emotions. Hey, Jermaine, stop being led by your emotions. That is something all within itself. Because you know what? If we're not careful, and I know even when I think about some decisions and some things, some reactions, how I may have responded to some things, they were through my emotions. They were based off of how I was feeling at the time. And so I'm going to pull a story. I'm not going to go all in deep with the story, with the particular thing that I'm going to utilize to show you, just to demonstrate how being moved by our emotions can cause us to make a lot of mistakes. Some mistakes that we can't get back. Some decisions we can't get back. Some responses that we can't get back. We have to be mindful of how we are responding to situations, whether it's with family, at work, to our children. We got to be mindful about our response, and we got to ensure that we are not moving and being led by our emotions, because that oftentimes get us in a lot of trouble. It doesn't take a rocket science to understand when I'm talking about our emotions. And I'm going to read you the definition of emotions first. So when I tie in this story, you can understand that it was a pastor, an apostle, and he always said this, Apostle Walter Barber, and I never forgot. One emotional outburst can destroy your whole ministry. One messed up a lot of stuff with how we responded. We've messed up a lot of things being led by our emotions. We've messed up a lot of relationships. We've messed up a lot, whether it's personal, it's friendships, relationships at work. We've messed up, did some things, responded to some at work. I mean, if it's certain things in the church, one, our emotions, being led by our emotions, which are not part of our intellect, they're part of our emotions. And our emotions are mixed up of a whole lot of things that oftentimes are not right. But listen, emotion, a natural, instinctive, because it's based off instinct, state of mind, deriving from one's circumstance, mood, which is how they feel, or relationship with others. Let me read that to you again. An emotion is it's natural because we all have them. We all have emotions. A natural instinctive state of mind deriving from one's mood, how they're feeling, relationship with others, or circumstance. Wow. So when we act, when we're led by our emotions, we're led by how we may feel, what type of mood we may be in. Emotional roller coasters. Our minds, our circumstances. We have to make sure that we're evaluating how we are being led. What decisions are you making, and out of what emotion are you utilizing? We have to stop being led by emotion. I'm going to utilize, I'm not going to go into the whole story, but we're going to talk about Isaac and his 7. You can read the story out for yourself. I am not going to dissect everything in the story. I'm just going to point and pull some things out that are relative to how we react and we are led by our emotions and how it can cost us some things. Okay? And this is the perfect story. So Isaac had 2 sons. Basically, he had 2 sons. There were Esau and it was Jacob. So if you read in the story, Isaac, the birthright was supposed to go to Esau. Okay? However, and Rebecca, which is their mother, had nothing to do. I'm just going to insert. She did some things that were deceptive. So Isaac was of old age. So he told Esau what he needed for him to do. He wanted some soup, some food. He wanted him to go make him some food. However, he would identify, since he was going blind, he would identify Esau by his clothes, and I'm going to go a little further with how he smelled. And he would identify him with his hairy arms, because he was hairy. So guess what? We have 5 senses. Hey, Pastor Hayes, we have 5 senses. Okay? We have taste, we have touch, we have smell, seeing, and hearing. Okay? 5 senses. Taste, touch, smell, seeing, and hearing. Okay? So I'm using this story for a reason. Okay, so he was blind. He was getting older. He was supposed to give his birthright, which was supposed to go to Esau. But him being blind, the only thing that he could utilize or kind of go in, because he was getting old, was to know how Esau felt by the touch. Get more so talk about the mother and what she did. But what she did had a reason, had something to do with why Isaac was led to do what he did. But we got to be mindful of not being led by emotions. Remember what I told you emotions was. It's an instinctive state of mind deriving from the mood, the circumstance, or the relationship with the person. Follow me now. Follow me. Follow what I'm saying. So Esau was supposed to get the birthright. Isaac told his son what he needed to do, but the mother wanted it to go to someone else, which was Jacob, his brother. So what she instructed Jacob to do was to get some hair, some things to put on his arm to make it like he was hairy. Because remember, I told you that Esau was a hairy man, and his dad, Isaac, that's how he associated this instinct of his son. Then Jacob had a clothes change. So the smelling different, so it could smell like his brother Esau. So he prepared the food as his daddy Isaac instructed Esau to do. Jacob did. Approached his father Isaac and gave him the food. Before Isaac even relinquish their birthright, he felt the arms of Jacob, and they were hairy in the clothes and the smell. So he assumed, because he was led by his instinctive because he was hairy. So he gave him a birthright that wasn't even his because he was led by his emotions. And guess what? It was the wrong child. It was the wrong child. He gave the birthright to Jacob, and it was supposed to be Esau. He was led by his emotions. How often are we led by our emotions of seeing something and it is really something else, hearing something and it may be something else? However, we're not in the state of mind emotionally to make the right decisions. We don't sense that there's harm, ahead of us. So we are led by, okay, I'm gonna go this way, even though I'm feeling that I should make this turn, but I'm gonna just go because I'm used to going this way, this, that, and the other, and then something happens. When it comes to making a decision, you are compelled to make a decision because of the individuals that are asking you, but you are using your emotions to be led to make that decision, and that is not what is appropriate. And see, guess what? Isaac could not take that when he gave that birthright to his other son who wasn't supposed to have it. He couldn't take it back, no matter how it went. Whether deception did play a part, it really did. But guess what? He was led by his emotions. It felt like it was Esau. It smelled like it was Esau, but it wasn't. And guess what? Not only could he not take it back, he felt so bad. And that's what happens to us when we make the wrong decisions because we state of mind and circumstances that, oh, I want to help this person and I want to do this, that, and the other, and ain't nobody told you to do anything. God ain't told you to help that individual. God ain't told you to go that way. God didn't tell you to take that job. God didn't tell you to go and take that event. God didn't even told you to do this over here, but yet you do it because you're being led by your emotions. You've been pumped up, you're upset, so you're responding in a certain way, and ain't nobody gonna do this, that, and the other. You're led by your emotions. And as I told you, one emotional outburst not just can destroy your whole ministry, it can destroy your marriage, it can destroy your state of mind, it can destroy your next level where you're supposed to be going. It can destroy the position you're trying to get. It can mess up relationships. You got to be mindful that you're not being led by your emotions. We got to check those things. And listen, reality is that we are emotional beings. We are. That's a reality. But yes, Bar Carson. But you got to realize that the growth and the wiser you get, you shouldn't be emotionally led. That's a dangerous place to be. That's a dangerous place to be. And that's part of your soul. It's a dangerous place to be. And carnality fits into that. Because when you're emotionally making decisions, they're wrong. They're not going to be right. And some of them you can't take back. Some of you can't change. And that's why you have to be mindful. Yes, you got to be mindful of that flesh. You got to cast some things out. You got to renew your mind. You got to understand that, listen, yeah, you may be mad or upset. How you feel. It's okay to have that emotion. However, What are you doing with that? With you being angry, are you just shutting everybody out? Are you just being are you just being ill-minded and angry with everyone, having a black heart? It's okay to be. Are you just standing on that unforgiveness? And you know you supposed, even if that person never apologizes to you, you get it up off you. Because if you don't, it'll keep you in bondage, in a jail cell, in prison. So just because you ain't never been to no prison that's outside in this world, if you in a prison in your mind, that's worse. That's worse. So you got the keys to that. So if you're being held by your emotions of anger, you need to check to see where's the root of that anger coming from, so that every decision that you make won't be made out of anger because you're mad with that person. So then you're taking it out on everybody else. Exactly. Things are going to happen. You're going to get in your emotions about situations. Surround yourself with people, that can talk some sense. You know what? Yeah, this is wrong, or this, that, and the other. But hey, you know what? Let the Lord handle. Or this is how I'm respond, or whatever. Because guess what? We're gonna our emotions are part of us. That's part of our humanistic makeup. But don't be led by them to make decisions. If you are making decisions based off your emotions, you are going down the wrong avenue, the wrong road. That is, you should not be making decisions out of your emotions. That would lead you to a place of danger, or feeling like you're lonely, or of feeling mind. The Bible says, so as a man thinketh, so is he. That's what's going to start coming into fruition. Literally. Stop being led by your emotions. Sometimes you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. It's not about checking nobody else. You need to check you and get your emotions under subjection. Yes. You need to check you and get your emotions under subjection. If somebody hurts you, it's going to happen. Do not wish ill will on that person. Do not try to harm that person. All of those things are out of your emotions. Because once you do something, you cannot take it back. Once you say things, you cannot take it back. You can't. Sometimes things may go on and I be wanting to say what I really want, but that's out of my much. And I gotta check myself. You know what is that going to accomplish if you say that or do that? Let them do how, or let this be, or let him do however. But I will not be emotionally driven. I will not. Isaac, he could not even take that back because he was driven by his emotion, how he felt, what he thought, and it was wrong. And sometimes you just can't rely on some of your senses. You got to have all of them. And I ain't talking about the humanistic senses. I'm talking about the senses up here. Some of us make some stupid decisions based off emotions. And we can't blame it on everybody else. And that's the problem. Sometimes we don't take accountability for what we do, what we say, and it's everybody else. And I always tell people, stop expecting people to be or do a certain thing. Because once you put your expectations up to a way and they don't arise to that level, then you're disappointed. Stop putting expectations how or what you thought or do what you thought they should do. Then you're in your emotion. Then you're acting nasty. You got a nasty attitude. Then you saying stuff that you don't know you don't need to be saying because you're being led by your emotions. Some of us need to grow up. Some of us need to grow up. You're raising children and this, that, and the other, but you're acting like a child. because you're being led by your emotions, and you're wondering why the children can't get it together and understand. And you grown, old and grown, and you still are being led by your emotions. Check yourself and stop being led by them. When you're making a decision, make sure you have peace, quietness, and assurance. All of those need to be in your spirit. The peace of God when you make the decision, no matter what it may be, whether if it's something that you said, an action that you have to do, somewhere you got to walk, an engagement, a job, whatever. Make sure you have the peace in your mind. Assurance. That's that thing that you know without a shadow of a doubt that this is the route that you're supposed to go. And quietness in your spirit. Start rattling. You're not, oh, wait a minute. Should I? Well, no, I don't want to do this and this. Well, I'm going to do it because if I don't, they're going to say, that's my friend. Or that's my baby daddy. That's my baby mama. That's my girlfriend. That's my husband, my wife. Listen, don't be led by your emotions. Do not. Growth starts with the maturity. You got to mature. So the segments, even for tonight, and I'm about to let you go. These are segments so we can all change. We all have areas that we need to change in. Okay? And let me tell you another thing. Stop using social media to, number one, vent everything. Everybody know what's going on in your life because you're putting everything on social media. Ways in your business because you tell all your business on social media. Okay? So stop putting everything on social media. Okay? Because them lurkers, all your friends on social media, they don't like us. They just up there looking and this and that and the other. And you putting out today, got up at 8:05. Then I went over here. And then I did this. Sometimes you have to move in silence. And stop utilizing platforms prematurely. We got to grow up. We got these children some of them don't even have good role models. Because why? You're doing too many things around them that we're not supposed to be doing. And then you wonder why they get in school and stuff or grow up and they hell raisers. They burning up schools and shooting people and killing people. Oh, they just didn't come out the womb like that. Okay? That's a whole nother topic. But literally, stop being led by your emotions. You need to check yourself so you won't end up making a wrong decision, making a wrong choice, making a wrong move, walking in the wrong direction that you cannot take back. And that's what I come by here to tell you on tonight. Thank you for joining me for Wisdom Wednesday. I hope I said something to you this evening. Yes, that's it, my Margaret. Don't do it. Thank you for coming by to join me this evening. Please share. I love there's different people from wherever that message me and watch. It's about growth. It's about unity. It's about trying to help each other win and knowing week that you God blesses and put a covering over your family, and whatever that it is that you're in need of, that it is given unto you according to his will. Just be mindful of not being led by your emotions in this season. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week, Lord's will, and do have a good rest of the evening.